Hello and welcome to Mann's Model Moments and this second Tuesday talk of 2026. Now, it's been a very turbulent couple of weeks in the start to the year, both internationally, with the conflict still raging in Ukraine, with the uprising stroke revolution now happening in Iran, with America seizing Venezuelan oil tankers and making a targeted strike on Maduro in their capital, and in the modelling world as well. So you'll have seen the cease and desist for Beyond the Box podcast versus Beyond the Box Art podcast, and that's come to a little bit of a head with the IPMS saying that Beyond the Box Art is not the official podcast of the IPMS UK, which I have to feel a little bit for Paul Pendleton-Brown and the Beyond the Box Art podcast people, because I think they did have some discussions on one of their shows where the IPMS kind of representatives did say that it was going to become the official podcast. Obviously, with this sort of action, they want to distance themselves from that. It's absolutely fine. Another part of me, you shouldn't claim you're an official podcast if you're not, unless that's absolutely confirmed. So it has been a turbulent start to the year. However, as you may or may not be able to hear from my background here, it is raining hard here in the southwest of the UK, which is both a good and bad thing. It means that it's not as cold as it has been, which is a good thing. It means that we get water for our reservoirs, for plants. It means that spring can start earlier, provided those temperatures don't creep down again. And it's also bad because it's not great to actually go out in the pouring rain, obviously, but on a larger level, it's not really what you would expect at this time of year. You would expect frosts, you would expect snow, you wouldn't really expect it to be this warm. So that shows other global shifts. Whatever your opinions are on global warming, there's no denying that things are different than they used to be. Now, whether you think that's a good or a bad thing is very much your own decision, but this sort of time of year for modelers, we start looking out to the wider part of the year, because this time of year is when model companies start releasing their announcements for their release schedules for the rest of the year. Now, the big one that we have on the horizon is, of course, Airfix from the Hornby group. They're going to be making their announcements tomorrow, and midweek model meet we're going to be looking at some of those in a little bit more detail. But there's also another thing that happened with the Hornby group in the last couple of days, and that is that they did publish their annual financial reports. And that doesn't make as good reading as a lot of people might have hoped. I do recommend you go and look at the video that Little Wicket has done on this, and regardless of what people have said in the past about his videos on Hornby, he used to be in finance, so he knows what he's talking about when it comes to these numbers. And there are several things that he picked out. Now obviously they made a loss, an overall loss of more than £11 million, which is not great. They still have large debts, and that is despite making an increased profit of around about £400,000 more than they did the year before. Now, that's not a surprise, because right back at the beginning of last year, when they did sort of a preliminary announcement, they mentioned that sales were up between 8 and 11%, but at the end of the year, that is only 5%. So obviously, sales slumped somewhat through the rest of the year. Maybe why we've seen quite a lot of sales from Hornby and Airfix this year. And of course, we don't have the effects of all of those changes they've made in terms of closing the Hornby America warehouse, restructuring, laying off people, going to the warehouse in Birmingham, the third party. All of those pieces haven't come in, but they are well into their recovery plan, and we're not seeing signs of that yet. Now, I don't want to be a doom merchant, but what does this mean for us in our hobby with Airfix? Well, the good news is we are safe for most of this year. And that, as Little Wicket said, is because the Phoenix Asset Management Group actually have promised to back Hornby until December this year. So for 2026, we're okay. What happens to the Hornby group after that period, though, I think is the big question mark, and the thing that should be on most of our minds in terms of how that affects Airfix going forward. Now, do I think Airfix is going to stop? Absolutely not. But maybe this is the time when the group is broken up, because we believe the Corgi and the Airfix brands do very well, but Hornby aren't too vocal about some of the other brands. So maybe we see Airfix floated as a separate concern, or Airfix and Corgi, or Corgi floated. It's all speculation at the moment, we can't know, but it's going to be a really interesting year. So 2026, we have pretty solid footing. We know they're going to be financed, we know that they have backers. What happens beyond that is anyone's guess. Now, onto the more positive side of that is, of course, tomorrow we have Airfix's announcements. Now, I am not predicting anything this year. I haven't really speculated about what they might be doing. But I do wonder if Airfix have tipped their hand slightly in one element. And that is they have announced the Airfix Club 2026. And that package includes a Saab Viggen in 1/72nd scale, in a very nice special red scheme with little ghosts on the wings. It's really quite nice. They don't have a Viggen in the range, or at least not currently. They did have a Viggen in the range, a 1971 tooling, and that was last released in the late 2000s, but we haven't seen that kit for some time. So I think one fairly certain prediction that you can make is that that is going to be making a comeback in the Vintage Classics, because it's unlikely they're going to impress a kit just for the Airfix Club. Although I admit I could be wrong. Now, there hasn't been an awful lot of other news since the Christmas period. Obviously we had a glut of kits just before Christmas, and any announcements that went in, any releases that went in, kind of got overshadowed by the Christmas period, which makes it a little bit surprising that Italeri actually did quite a few releases before Christmas, including their MC200 in 1/32nd scale, which is a pretty big release for them, and yet it kind of went into the Christmas melange without really getting much fanfare, but more on that to come. The other thing that I noticed, which has been coming up in the past few days, are more details on the Mini Art Focke-Wulf FW190D, the Langnese and Dora. Now, before Christmas we had announcements that this was coming. We had a few test shots, which again kind of got drowned out in the Christmas period, but now we've actually got some schemes as well, and they look pretty nice. So if we actually have a look at the frames that they've shown, you can see, as expected, Mini Art's traditional kind of high quality and detail in these parts. You can see a lot of the parts have very nice riveting, panel lines, and even detail on the flip side of the parts for things like the cowling. So I'm actually looking forward to this release. I haven't yet done a Mini Art kit. I wanted to do the Rappenschlepper Ost last year, and I never really got a chance to get around to it. And the 190 is one of my favourite aircraft. The D is a favourite amongst that, so this could be the time. Maybe I do Mini Art's Land Rappenschlepper Ost and Air FW190D. What do you think? Anyway, I think the rest of the news is going to have to wait until tomorrow, so please do come and join me on Midweek Model Meet as we look at what Airfix has announced and try and break that down. So, till then, have a good one. Thanks for watching.